all men between the ages of 18 and 25 will be automatically registered for the military draft. They'll be added into the Selective Service System. That's the independent government agency that keeps a list of all eligible Americans. For decades, the majority of men would register themselves or face a felony. Congress tucked the rule change into a bipartisan defense bill that President Trump signed into law late last year. It comes as enrollment has slipped in recent years, even as worries about conflicts with nations like China and Russia have grown. There has not been a military draft since the Vietnam War.
In the war with Iran is on the verge of collapse now because of ongoing violence in Lebanon. Israel attacked targets in the country, and Iran launched several missiles at Israel. Apparently, Lebanon is not protected under that current deal, which Iran says is a deal breaker. That Israeli attack becoming a devastating blow for terrorist targets.
We delivered the biggest blow to Hezbollah since the Pages. We attacked 100 targets in 10 minutes in location Hezbollah was sure were invulnerable.
Iran's foreign minister is saying on X today, quote, "The world sees the massacres in Lebanon. The ball is in the U.S. court, and the world is watching whether it will act on its commitments." Iran says it has closed the Strait of Hormuz for now.
The U.S. military will automatically register eligible men for the Selective Service Draft System later this year. They say the change is part of a broader effort to strengthen national defense by ensuring the country can quickly expand its armed forces if needed. The automatic registration will be in place by December. This affects eligible men, that's ages 18 to 25. Women are exempt from registering. Military service has been optional since 1973, and the last time the U.S. had a draft was the Vietnam.
Talking about the possibility of the U.S. draft coming back. So the U.S. military will automatically register eligible men for the Selective Service Draft System a bit later this year. Previously, the onus was on the men to register themselves. So that's going to definitely impact families of young men. Think late teens, early 20s and beyond. So if you're curious, what is the Selective Service System? It's the military draft, and it was established back in 1917 by President Woodrow Wilson after the U.S. entered World War I. So that puts some things into perspective for you as to where this stands. And if we're calling this back, it must mean this is some serious stuff to our government. Under federal law, most men between 18 and 25 are required to register with the Selective Service System in case Congress and the President authorize a military draft. So right now, though, they have to self-register within 30 days of their 18th birthday, but they're allowed to register late without penalty until they turn 26. So that's been the sort of workaround here, if you think about it that way. Failure to register is considered a crime that could disqualify you from student loans, most federal jobs, and U.S. citizenship for immigrants, Stars and Stripes reports. So when you think of the phrase draft dodger, it comes from this. Women are still exempt from registering, though. A new rule passed by Congress just last year will automatically register those eligible men in the system, which transfers responsibility for registration from individual men to SSS through integration of federal data sources. This is, again, all coming from the SSS website. So here's the big picture. Draft registration has declined in recent years. And don't just take my word from it. It's coming from the Military Times that monitors this especially closely. And they say that it's in part because federal student loan forms removed the option to register back in 2022. So if you're curious as to when the military draft will become automatic, here's a look at the timeline. According to the Selective Service System, it's hard to say, try it 10 times fast. Automatic registration will be in place by December.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 3. Talk no more so exceeding proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Lord is a power of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. Kol Holayim La, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekat, Chodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Achaeum out there on the highways and the byways. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to you speckled birds, you Israelite foreigners. And shalom to the Akwaf, sitting and listening in silence as the scriptures say to do so. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 3. Talk no more so exceeding proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, is a power of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. And we know that you Americans, you Edomites, you so-called self-proclaimed Caucasian white people, which you're not pure, you're not innocent, okay? Y'all are the most proudest people on the planet, the most proudest nation, okay? The bullies, the cancer of the earth, man. And you people believe that you will never, ever have that crown stripped from off of your head, that you'll never ever be brought low, that you'll never, ever see oppression be put in a position of submission, and amongst other things too. But the Lord is going to make you stand on business, because the Lord is in control of everything that's amongst us. So now, instead of you having the so-called freedom and choice to register in the Army, the Navy, etc., now you're automatically going to be put on the registration, ages 18 to 26. Okay, but it's not going to stop there. That's just the mandatory age, because those are the ones that are actually young and able to move more quickly and swiftly than the ones that are above that age. Okay, but you people have pedestalized, glorified your history. And now the Lord's going to make you stand on business what you believe. The Lord's going to make you stand on business and actually force you to go to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man. And a lot of you people are going to perish there, okay? Because as we know, and as we've been watching, 2nd Esdras chapter 9, verse 1 on down, we know that a lot of people here in Babylon the Great have not been registering for the army, have not been signing up, again, for the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, etc. Okay, and the people that do sign up and that do enlist and get deployed, they're only doing it for the benefits. Okay, the benefits of being able to have funds for college, being able to have discounts on vehicles and houses, etc. They're doing it for that. But now it's come to the point that you're going to have to go to war. Okay, because you're trained on how to use your firearm, etc. So it does not make a difference for what position you are going to be applying for in the Army, the Navy, etc. Okay, you could be a desk jockey, you could be in the infirmary. Everybody's going to be out in the front lines, man. Okay, point blank, period, man, because you people are exceedingly proud in your speech, your conduct. So the Lord's going to make you stand on what you believe, man. And that's why he's made Trump and these other so-called leaders in this society, this captivity, to bring forth these unrighteous decrees into law. Okay? And as we know and as we see, Salakia for being long-winded, but this all goes into the next precept. As we know and as we see, the men of Babylon are not the same men from the days of old. Okay, the men of Babylon are literally weak, feeble, not men. Okay, because, back then, even with Trump, back then, you wouldn't have, these Edomites running their mouth about what they're going to do. They would actually do it and then run their mouth. They would actually bring forth the sword, okay, bring forth the wrath, to shed the blood, etc., and then speak on it. But now you have these Edomites, you're basically talking, SHIT, but not standing on business, man. Just like Trump said, a lot of stuff's going to happen if Iran doesn't accept my, my orders, my standards. And then what did he do? He folded. Okay, back in the day, them Edomites in the 16, 15, 1400s, man, it wouldn't be no conversation. It'd be all out war. Okay, because again, these men are weak. America has been focused on folly, nonsense, man. Okay, giving rights to sodomites and women and everything else, man. When all these other nations have been focused on what? Improving their military might, improving their tactics, their weaponry, their ICBM missiles. So let's continue. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, and I'm going to read verse I'm gonna read verse 16. In that day shall Egypt, which this is the new modern day Egypt. This captivity is a whole bunch of former captivities rolled in one. Egypt, Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, ancient Babylon, okay, Rome, readvised the reincarnation, readvised Rome, okay, the revised reincarnation of Babylon, Sodom and Gomorrah, Egypt, etc., man, because Esau's a culture vulture, man. He's always had that mentality, man. He's always taken everybody else's customs, everybody else's philosophies, and, you know, put his own flavor to it, okay? So this is the book of Isaiah 19, verse 16. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over. Because the Lord is, again, the Lord, as it states in the book of Proverbs 21, verse 1, the heart, which is your mind, is in the hands of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. So the Lord's causing all this friction. The Lord's causing all this mayhem, okay, bringing all this discomfort, okay, you know, taking away the mirth, having you feel the pressure, okay. War is inevitable. If that's the correct way to say the word, and that's the correct word. So like, I'm excited because it's a beautiful time to be allowed to be seeing these things, man. We've been dying to see everything that we're seeing right now. Okay, so war is inevitable. Okay, it's going to happen and it must happen. And also, too, this goes into effect December of this year. So that lets you know that this a war. Okay, this friction, everything that's going on right now, it's going to continue. It's not going to cease. It's not going to end. It's not going to take a break. It's going to happen. And again, you have these Americans, these Babylonians afraid, man. Nobody wants to go to war. Again, the way these children, these so-called men, especially Edomites, they're spoiled bastards. Okay, they don't have, again, the same spirit, the same mentality as their forefathers, man. Okay, nobody raised in these eras from the 90s on down is actually having any type of strength, any type of leadership, etc., man. Okay, because everybody has what? Their phone in their hand. Everybody's using the internet to do everything. Nobody's really, the beloved elder Manat Zakbai did a video of simple questions being asked to Americans. And they couldn't even answer those simple questions. Okay? You had a woman, he asked a woman, how many dimes is in a dollar? This broad said 2. And she wanted to use her phone to figure it out. Nobody has the mental intellect without technology to have the correct operation of their brains to be able to answer any basic logical question. Okay, so of course these people are afraid, man. Because guess what? They should be afraid, because this is the beginning, the peak of what's gonna escalate and be brought forth for this nation, man. It also states in the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, that it's not going to be no men really left here besides, the remnant. Okay? But, again, the Lord is shaking everything up, man. So they need to be afraid. They should be afraid because, again, these men that are not men, they're man-childs. They're weak. Let's grab another precept on that. So, like, yeah. And I don't want to write this out, man. It's going to be a quick one. I know I've been talking a lot, but, hey, it is what it is. This is Jeremiah chapter 51, and I'm gonna read verse 30. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight, and you also have seen other news clips and talking points of men that's already in the army that do not want to go fight. You have people that's in the army, whether it be the Navy, the Air Force, the actual army, the military, that literally have said out of their own mouths and have documented it on paper that said they will not go fight for the small hats. They will not go fight for the you-wish people, for the bankers. Because that's, as it states in his book, Jeremiah, the least of the flock shall draw them out, which it's going to happen because it's of prophecy. They have an agenda. They have a plan that they want to accomplish. And America is heavily involved in that operation. Okay? Point blank period, man. Okay? So the mighty men, they're not mighty, they're weak. Okay? Because you Americans, a lot of stuff here in this society has not been voted into office. You know, just for one example, the IRS, which is a private entity. It has nothing to do with the government. Nothing. Okay? It's a private entity that's basically controlled by the you-wish people. You're not supposed to be paying taxes on your wages, what you work for. Now, if you earn an inheritance or something like that, that can be taxable, deducted. But as far as your employment, your plantation work, that's not supposed to be taxed. And you can do the research and look up that stuff for yourself. Okay, Title 4D, which is a foreign entity, which is also a private entity, which is not of law. They don't even enforce it correctly. And it really has nothing to do with the child. This is literally for the treasury of the state. The treasury of this cave gorilla. The only reason why they give the mother some of the money is just to keep the psyop that is actually for the benefit, and they care for the child. They don't care for, man, these people don't care for the children, and damn sure not for the Israelite kids. As soon as you pop out a baby, you sign over your rights to your own child, and the state, the government has custody of your children. And they inject all types of shit in your seed, man. But Salaki, that just had to be said. Again, Jeremiah 51 verse 30, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. We don't want to go fight for the Jewish people. We don't want to go fight. We don't want to go do this war has nothing to do with us. So all of a sudden, after all this bullshit, all this bloodshed, all this chaos, mayhem that you people have done, because your nation, you people stay in everybody's business, man, bringing forth democracy. Okay, putting embassies in everybody's lands, which are garrisons. That's the modern day garrison, an embassy. That's all the embassy is a garrison. Okay, to keep everybody in line. Okay, to have your military there to make sure that everybody follows protocol. Okay, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. They don't want to move. They don't want to leave. But guess what? It's going to happen because Yahweh Shem Hawashai is going to force them to go. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the law with this is $250,000 fine or 5 years in jail. And we know that you Americans damn sure don't got $250,000 to pay no fine. And we know daggone well that you don't want to spend 5 years in federal prison is actually better than actual penitentiary from what I've been told. Okay, I don't have a record. I haven't been in jail, but that's what I've been told by people that's been in the feds and been in the penitentiary. It's a totally different experience. Okay, you got more. I guess I don't want to say benefits, but that's how they see it, and that's how niggas see it. Okay, so they say it's more beneficial, more, and this is what niggas really say. It's more lenient and more comfortable to be in the feds and than the penitentiary. And what you know, when it comes to the feds, you know, they basically have a sealed tight case against you. So majority of the time they have convictions over people just shit. Not taking it to trial, basically getting a plea deal. Okay, Salakia. Their might have failed, they become as women. Okay, again, because these men here in America, they're not men. They are not men. Okay, the generation I grew up on, man, we handle stuff as men. You know, even though it was worldly, it was carnal, you know, you still had a manly intellect about yourself. You know, you wasn't really weak and feeble-minded, and you really didn't carry yourself emotional like a woman. And you know, men have emotions too. It's not. It's kind of. You can't say that a man does and will not have emotions. There's men in the Bible that have emotions. You know? So there's no way that you cannot completely be not emotional. There's no way. Okay? But you know, you have some jakes that claim they can't be emotional, man. It's over righteous jakes, man. But yeah, let's continue. They have burned her dwelling places, her bars are broken. So hey, that's what it is, man. So while the Lord's weakening Babylon, he's also strengthening the elect. Let's get a couple precepts on that. Because that's who's standing tall, and that's who's, you know, embracing, okay, prophesying, and also desiring to see the downfall of our adversaries, man. Okay, because these things must occur. So this is Isaiah chapter 35. I'm going to read verses 3 to 4. Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees, because we as a nation, we don't have nothing. Okay, as far as like carnal and physical, but we really do have something, and that's Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and that's really all we need. But you know, we don't have a seat at the UN. We don't have no military. We don't have our land. Our people are completely divided, completely wicked. Okay, the curses are upon our people, so our nation is weak. Okay, and you know, yes, Jay can get busy, hand-to-hand combat, etc., but when it boils all down to it, man, as the scripture stated, listen, Isaiah 35 verse 3, strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. And again, this is only going to apply to the remnant, the elect. I don't want to rock this out. We are those vessels. Continuing on. Say to them that are of a fearful heart. Okay, because at one point before we came into the truth, we had a fearful heart because we didn't have the answers. We didn't have the information. We didn't have the knowledge until Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai woke us up. So what made us strong? This word, the prophecies. The Lord confirmed everything through us. Confirmed everything to us through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Okay? By using his men, which is the elder apostles, elder bishops, elders on down. Be strong. Fear not. Behold, your power, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, will come with vengeance, even the Most High, with a vengeance, he will come and save you. Okay, and this is talking about Israel. Okay, and I want to jump back to 1 Samuel real quick to line that up with another precept that I got. And in my Bible, what is that? In my Bible, Slakia, Isaiah 35 in my Bible, the sub-reading is, the Lord's people will have joy. For Isaiah 35, the sub-reading is, the Lord's people will have joy. So let's jump to back to 1 Samuel chapter 2, and I'm going to read verse 4, which applies to us. The bows of the mighty men are broken. And who was that mighty man right now running the earth? Esau Edom. Okay, so his bows, everything that, you know, he stood on, everything that made him strong, all his sorceries and, you know, again, his weaponry and his blessing. Because what did Yahweh Shai say? Those that live by the sword shall die by the sword. So everything that he has prospered in is coming against him, man. Their nation is divided. Okay, the Lord is revealing, Isaiah 25 verse 7, everything for what it really is, man. Okay? 1 Samuel 2 verse 4. The bows of the mighty are broken, and they that stumbled are gritted with strength. And who was the ones stumbling? Who was the ones, you know, drunk off the philosophies of Babylon, that was lost sheep, led astray? That was Israel. And furthermore, that was the remnant. So we once were stumbling because we were erring in our ways, taking heed to the heathen. But now that we had been awoken, we're being strengthened by the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Because we have confirmation, we have our answers being, so like we have our questions being answered. Okay? So the point's made, let's close out, because this is what's going to happen, man. Because it's of prophecy and it's destined to happen. Okay, again, as I stated, the least of the flock shall draw them out, which is the Jewish people, man. It's going to happen. So they can foreborn and try to, avoid to go to war, but it's bound to happen. And this is what's going to happen. Okay, this is a second Esdras chapters, or part of what's going to happen. I could go longer, but I want to keep it short and sweet. Second Esdras 16, verses 33 to 34. The virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Because look, man, when these people go over there to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, the valley of the Lord's judgment, they're not coming back. You're not going to see like you see right now, you see them sending certain soldiers that got killed in the crossfire and in duty. You see them sending them bodies back to have, obviously their memorial services, etc. That's not going to happen. Okay, when those people go over there to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, they are going to decay right away where they're at, man. So when this really goes full throttle, full force, that's going to be the last time you see your loved ones, man. That's going to be the last time you see your husbands, you see your sons, your nephews, etc. Okay, your cousins, all that, man. Verse 34. In the wars, okay, again, that's what we're talking about, war. Because this ain't going to stop, it's only going to elevate. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, as I spoke. So when they go over there to that war, okay, they're going to be destroyed, man. They're going to be destroyed. And as it states in the book of Revelation, the third woe cometh quickly. So what's coming? Because this devil knows that he has but a short time, man. Okay? In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Okay, so the Lord has a lot of prophecies, a lot of things that he's going to bring forth, man. It's going to be, again, people that's going to die by the sword, people that's going to die by famine, people that's going to die by the pestilence, man. Because Babylon the Great is overdue for judgment. And it's been a long time coming. So I don't want to wrap this up, man. I hope and I pray that this is edifying, uplifting, and informative to the true, sincere Aki and Akwaf. So with that, I'm just going to say, Shalom.